Have you ever caught yourself doing something you know is bad for you, but you just can't stop? Maybe you chalk it up to being lazy, or undisciplined, or just wired wrong. But what if it's not a bad habit? What if it's actually a trauma response? A lot of behaviors we carry today, things we criticize ourselves for, aren't flaws in our character. They're leftover defense mechanisms, coping strategies we developed when something hurt us and we never truly healed. So today, we're diving deep into 12 bad behaviors that might not be bad at all, just misunderstood. You'll learn why they exist, where they come from, and how to start changing them. Number 12, freezing under pressure. You're in a stressful situation, and suddenly, your brain slams the brakes. You can't move. You can't think. You're frozen. This isn't weakness. It's ancient survival code, a primal response wired into your nervous system when neither fight nor flight felt safe. If you experienced trauma where you felt powerless, like no action could save you, your brain might have learned that doing nothing is the best protection. And now, whenever life feels too much, it shuts down. It worked once, but today, it keeps you stuck. Number 11, people pleasing. You're constantly bending over backward to keep the peace. You say, yes, when you want to scream, no. You shrink yourself to avoid conflict, to earn approval, to be liked. This didn't come from nowhere. If love was conditional when you were growing up, if affection was withdrawn when you disobeyed, you learned a painful truth. Pleasing others keeps you safe. And now, you've forgotten how to put yourself first without guilt. You feel like your worth depends on being useful to everyone except yourself. Number 100, fear of abandonment. You love deeply, but always with a knot in your stomach. You worry people will leave. You overthink texts. You cling harder when they pull away, terrified that one wrong move means they'll be gone. This fear usually begins in childhood, when someone important wasn't there for you, emotionally, physically, or both. Your nervous system learned early connection isn't guaranteed. So now, even in good relationships, you expect the worst. You're not paranoid. You're responding to a blueprint burned into your mind by past pain. Number 90, clinginess or emotional walls. When it comes to relationships, do you swing between extremes? Maybe you get too attached, too fast, or maybe you keep people at arm's length afraid to let them in. Either way, it's not just neediness or being cold. It's trauma showing up in your attachment style. If your emotional needs weren't met growing up, or if you were hurt by people who were supposed to protect you, you might have learned that closeness is dangerous. So you either cling to it or run from it. It's not about weakness. It's about a nervous system trying to protect itself from pain it remembers all too well. Number 8, impulsive or reckless behavior. Do you make snap decisions you later regret? Spend impulsively, lash out, chase risky highs, or just act without thinking? It might look like carelessness, but underneath, it's often a desperate attempt to escape feelings you haven't fully faced. For some people, trauma doesn't show up as fear. It shows up as restlessness, chaos, a craving for anything that feels intense enough to drown out what's buried underneath. Whether it's alcohol, speeding, toxic relationships, or reckless risks, it's not about fun. It's about relief. Number 70, overworking yourself to exhaustion. Do you feel guilty when you're not being productive? Do you push and push, convincing yourself that rest is laziness, and you'll only be enough when you achieve more? This isn't just ambition. It's avoidance. For many, overworking is a trauma response, a way to silence the inner voice that says, you're not good enough. Because when you're constantly busy, you don't have to feel. You don't have to remember. You just keep going. But the truth is, burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a cry for help. Number 6, hyper independence. Don't worry. I'll handle it. Sound familiar? If you refuse help, avoid vulnerability, or feel uncomfortable relying on anyone, it might be more than just self-reliance. It might be survival. Hyper independence often forms when you've been let down, when the people you should have been able to count on weren't there. So you learn, if I don't do it myself, I'll get hurt. But while independence can be empowering, isolation isn't. No one is meant to carry everything alone. Healing starts when you let someone in, even just a little. Number 50, overgiving in relationships. Do you constantly give more than you get? Do you pour into others, even when you're running on empty? This might feel like kindness, but if it leaves you exhausted, bitter, or invisible, it's not healthy. Overgiving is often rooted in a fear of being unwanted, a belief that if you're not useful, you're not lovable, so you become the fixer, the giver, the one who holds everything together. But the truth is, you don't need to earn love by draining yourself. You are worthy simply because you exist. Number 40. Dissociation, feeling disconnected from reality. Ever feel like you're watching your life instead of living it? Like you're floating above your body, or the world around you feels distant and unreal? That's not spacing out. That's dissociation. And it's not random. It's your brain trying to protect you. When something is too overwhelming to process, especially during trauma, the mind hits the eject button. It disconnects, escapes, shuts down. And while it might have saved you in the past, living in that fog can leave you numb, disconnected, and struggling to stay grounded. Healing means learning how to come back to yourself, slowly, gently, one moment at a time. Number 3, codependency, losing yourself in others. Do you base your self-worth on how much you do for others? Are your emotions tied to someone else's mood? Codependency doesn't always look dramatic. It can just look like being too nice, always putting others first, never knowing where you end and they begin. But behind it, there's often trauma. A childhood where love was earned, not given. Or chaos where caretaking became your survival. So now you overfunction, you overgive, you overstay. Because deep down, you fear that if you stop fixing others, you'll be left behind. But your job isn't to rescue everyone. It's to come home to yourself. Number 20. Self-sabotage, wrecking the good things in your life. Do you procrastinate until it's too late? Pick fights in good relationships. Ruin your momentum just when things are finally going well. That's not laziness. That's fear of success, of failure, of getting hurt again. When you've experienced deep disappointment, your nervous system might see peace as suspicious, joy as temporary. So it sabotages before something can go wrong because, at least then, you were in control. But you deserve to feel safe in your own success, to experience love without the fear of losing it. Healing is learning to receive the good without apology. Number 1. Social withdrawal, pulling away from the world. Do you avoid calls, cancel plans, or isolate yourself even when you're lonely? This isn't just being introverted, it's self-protection. If your past taught you that people are unsafe or that connection leads to pain, then withdrawing becomes your shield. Being alone feels easier, quieter, safer. But over time, that safety becomes a prison, and the walls you built to protect yourself start keeping love out too. Healing means risking connection again, slowly, on your terms. Not because you have to, but because deep down, you want to. You're allowed to feel seen. Honorable mention I struggling to set boundaries. Do you say yes when you mean no? Agree just to keep the peace. People pleasing isn't a quirk, it's a trauma response, often rooted in a fear that if you disappoint others, they'll leave, get angry, or withdraw love. So you smile, you comply, you sacrifice your comfort to avoid conflict. But here's the truth, boundaries aren't barriers, they're bridges. They show others how to love you better, not less. Healing means learning that saying doesn't make you bad, it makes you real. And that's who you're here to be. So if you've seen yourself in any of these behaviors, freezing, overworking, pushing people away, or saying yes when you want to scream no, remember this, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not too much or not enough. You were just doing your best to survive with the tools you had. And now you're learning new ones. Healing doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means coming home to who you were before the world taught you to hide. So be gentle with yourself. This isn't about fixing what's wrong with you. It's about reclaiming what's rightfully yours. Your peace, your power, your self-respect. And if you want to learn how to rewire your brain and heal old patterns even faster, click this video right here. It'll show you exactly how. You're already on the path. Now let's keep going.